Yo, what's going on YouTube? I'm Nick, back again with another dungeon to review. Today we have a 24 upper Karazhan that I did last night. So let's get into it. I've been picking up crit recently. I was taking haste for like all last week, but I'm back on the crit train. And I think it's performing quite well again for me. They feel both kind of the same to me in all honesty, but crit just makes your Spear of Bastion windows a lot better. So we have a rogue in this group, so we shrouded past that first Forlorn Spirit, and we're pulling up this infiltrator up to Zul'Gamox, which is on top of the stairs here. So we're wheelchairing our way up. Max ranging that frontal, kind of fun. Zul'Gamox here. Pop my gavel. Got the dot boon. And we decide to pop Lust here on Zul'Gamox, considering that's fortified weak. Put the Lust on cooldown. Lines up the Lust better for this dungeon, for our group at least. So we end up getting Lust on Zul'Gamox, then on Medivh, and then I think we did on the chess game. So you can see we're just blasting Zul'Gamox down. Hopping out of the circle, stunning the bat whenever it's got the cast. Spell reflecting the initial tick of the blood siphon. Feared the bat. I didn't have stun off cooldown. The infiltrator's down. So now we're just going to finish up Zul'Gamox. Zul'Gamox this week on Grievous is a little bit spicy in some pools, especially on like Iron Docks where there's like all that trash around and stuff like that. It can really overwhelm the healer a little bit. But up here it's pretty chill. Got everything. So we got him into XQ phase, so he should die pretty quick now. Running with Vengeance, DH, Resto Shaman, Shadow Priest, Fury Warrior, and an Outlaw Rogue. So here you can actually run between the two golems here, but I like to leap because I've noticed that sometimes my shoulder pads are a bit wide and I accidentally pull it, but if I jump, I gotta get some like elevation over their sort of hitboxes. So pulling this Nullifier. So if you get the little debuff on you, you gotta run to the circle and you get like a damage and healing buff. This Force Blade mechanic, you can actually taunt reflect that back onto the mob, but it's a little bit spicy to do. So we got our Shadow Priest go out and pull some mobs to bring him into this mob. Because once he sends out one of those, it's not too scary. I had to go retrieve my buff from right next to a sleep puddle. That was kind of spicy. So I'm just finishing off this Nullifier. Good. I'm just gonna fight these guys. We've got more mobs coming in. These little mana gorge worms are pretty much don't do anything. Big guys don't really do anything. They just have a lot of health this week. That's the main big thing. Dodging the frontals. And down to the last one of that pack, so we're going to pull in the final pack. Funny, I didn't even know these little mana worms had a little cast on them if they aren't in melee range, which is pretty interesting. Trying to tab off onto the lower HP mobs to get some whirlwind cleaving executes onto everything. So we got Gabble going into this fight. And you don't need cooldowns for the start of this fight. Because this fight you just want to be on top of the ads. Just cleaving onto the boss off the ads. And then blasting the boss when he gets his damage amp phase. So the boss is all the way down this side of the room. It's not ideal. You kind of want to start it from the other side of the room and then work your way towards the exit of the room. But as you can see, we all are like a loose spread on this one side of the room, just to give us lots of clearance. So focusing the ads down, these volatile energies, they hurt a lot. They do like a little jump pulse. Number one priority is just blasting these ads. Dodging swirlies and just moving back loose spread as a group. Kind of want to be a bit more spread because when those energies do that jump, like as you saw, they did like a big pulse on the person it jumps to, like a little shockwave. So if you're not stacked up, it mitigates that damage a little bit. Keeping on top of the ads. Okay, we got our first damage amp. Popping all our cooldowns. Putting in work. When this guy finishes his evocation, he does like a massive pulse AoE. So you want to like pop defensives or have externals going for the whole group just to ease it on the healer a little bit. Okay, we're gonna get jumped. I really enjoy this dungeon as a warrior. There's a lot of spell reflex and fun things you can do in here, which helps speed up the key towards the end. See, we're falling a tiny bit behind on these energies. You really want them to be like dead before the next one comes out. You don't really want to be dealing with multiple of them at the same time. So we're coming up to the end of the room. You don't want to get caught like trapped in a corner. More cooldowns. Just popping everything again. Popping a defensive here. Because that burst hurts. So we're going to make a pretty decent move here because we definitely don't want to get caught out in that corner. But see, hugging down to like one side allows you to be able to come back through without having to worry about getting trapped or having blue circles just everywhere in the room. Unless we start falling a bit extra behind on the ads, so I pop a cooldown on the ads rather than the boss. Because the boss is almost dead, so it's not like we really need the damage for the boss per se. The last evocate. And we just kill it here. Nothing too crazy. And easy as that. Now we're off to this next bit, which we want to skip this next mob that is just at the bottom of these stairs. So we got to wait for the patrol. And we were looking around at getting some extra infiltrators for some extra stacks of the buff and some extra score. But we're pretty sure that one of the ones that you can get, you need to have a DK for, so you can actually grip it down. And we don't have that, so we just played the one infiltrator from all the way over there. It's a little bit spicy dodging these little green swirlies. trying to get that guy over there. We kind of got confused because we were going to fight like double infiltrators if we had a DK grip or if we could have got that guy down, but we didn't. So we were actually going to skip this Wraith guy at the bottom of this area, but then we ended up pulling him instead. Which is not that bad because you can adjust your percent pretty well at the end of, like after the Mana Devourer boss with all the little worms in that room. So just standing on the non lit up squares. That's why a lot of people like to skip this mob, is because you want to have your cooldowns going into Medivh. So a lot of people can't like overcommit CDs here. But because we're a warrior, we pretty much have 1 minute CDs as long as we're attacking things. We are good to just pop our stuff as we please. They've also nerfed this Wrathguard a lot, that he pretty much doesn't do anything except pump the tank. So he's honestly not the worst percent for like the amount of minimal effort he takes. Getting this infiltrator. The infiltrator has blocked out the entrance into the door. But we see a slight gap, so we make our break for it. So now there's a little rat at the end of this corridor, just before the doorway, which you can see him like running around over there. So you can actually have like a ranged person pick that up, and it'll allow them to cast in the next boss area. So our lust is up perfectly for Medivh. This fight can get overwhelming pretty quickly, depending on which phases you get. Got Boon of Harvest of Hope again. Big Lust. This Frostbite kick is the most important. Our grip is really stacked on kicks, which is really nice. So you want to let the piercing missiles go through. Kicking the Inferno bolts, I think they're called, if they're on like a high risk sort of target, or if you have like a spare kick. And then 100% kicking the Frostbites. Flame Wreath is the one where you do not move. If you break that ring, you wipe your group. So you stand still. You make sure if a flame bolt's going on you, that one gets kicked 100% because the double burning debuff is not it. So we got another Frostbite here. More Inferno bolts. Ceaseless Winter. So you got to keep moving on the icy ground. If you stop moving, you start taking like a ramping damage tick. It's good for melee, kind of bad for casters because they can't really stop and cast that well. But I much prefer it over the little birds phase. Which we actually get unlucky here and we get one of these phases. So we all try to pump this first one. Just make sure we really get it down. Popping externals for the healer to help. And defensives to keep ourselves alive. So again, popping cooldowns on these little adds rather than the boss, because the boss is pretty much dead. We also want to save some kicks just in case we go straight into a Frostbite here. So we just got to let a couple go through. Back on Medivh. And we just see the boss off. Catch you later, Medivh. So now you get a nice little 4-hour drop off here. You get to ponder life, wonder what is happening on the other side of this. Falling down. Wow. Good thing there's not a timer in this dungeon, right, guys? It's also like in lower Karazhan when you're just sitting there waiting for like 40 seconds, even if you get someone to go down and pre-start the RP for the first boss, you're still just sitting around and you're like, like, surely just like take a minute off the timer and just make it instant or something. I don't know. So we're jumping down. We do not want to pull anything else in this area. And that rat is just zooming at us. It's actually kind of scary. But we just want to get the this infiltrator, and there's another infiltrator on this floor. So we just get double infiltrator and just avoid everything else. So we're going to hug this wall. Dodging that frontal. You can run through these books for some reason, but you can't cast through them. Great game, Blizzard. Keep it up. I was very annoyed. I was like like just out of range of this infiltrator the whole time. I was just sitting there spamming charge trying to get to it. Got my 1 minute here on these guys. Now we got Devourer. I'd say this guy's probably like, this guy's pretty tough fight. Because you either have like, sometimes DPS will just greed and they'll just like hold on to too many stacks of the orbs or whatnot. I'll just get absolutely blasted by the ticking damage. Or people will be like caught off guard by the that pulse that just went off, and they will have like high stacks, so they'll take like the tick from their actual stacks and then that, and they're just pretty much dead. Just trying to prevent these orbs from going into the boss. Pulse is going out. Hurt a lot. Like I find in like low keys, like it's fun to like hold onto the stacks and just like blast damage, but for like safety, it's like nice to try and drop them off as soon as you can. Swirling on the floor. That'll one-shot you if you get hit by that. So we're getting more stacks. So yeah, Priest just had bad timing. Had too many stacks, or had a couple stacks. HP was ticked down, got pulsed. One shot. He died in the circle though, so I need to actually clear some of the stacks to be able to get to him. So once we soak these up, I go soak in this puddle just to make it a little bit smaller so the rogue can get a B-res off on him. Collecting more orbs. It's just pretty much just like finding good times to drop off your orbs and to pick them up. Just finishing off the boss here. Super low HP. Boom, the boss is down. So now here we want to make sure we have all our bronze and pets all dismissed. Because if you jump over this ledge and your bronze runs along the side, you are in for a bad time.
We try to alter it.
So because we got that big guy earlier, we actually don't need anything else in this room. So we just kill this one pack. Because we opt to just pull the first two mobs on the top of the stair set, just to make the shroud or stealth a bit cleaner. Little mana devourers. So we get the tank gets life grouped back. It'd be nice to just yeah, so that guy does a big frontal, which I found out that it really hurts. So we really want to point those ones either to the left or right. Like, it would be more ideal to just not pull these guys and just take the riskier shroud or the risky invis. Because playing these guys is just a hassle. Kind of getting zoned out by this purple sleep puddle. I don't really want to dip my toes in that. It's a mighty swing that'll end your whole career again. We are good for percent. Because the chess game gives 10.5% count, I think. Which a lot of people, like, forget or don't notice, I find a lot of the times when I do this key. So we're just going to shroud past this pyromancer because this guy is a pain to fight. He's got soaks, he's got explosions, he's got everything. But this is where the key starts getting super fun for us. So we want to kill off a knight. I think if you kill like off multiple knights at the same time, it'll like stack the amount of time you have to like kill the king. So we gotta dodge that slam. The rogue gets clipped. That has happened to me many times. But as you can see, we're not actually going into the king's square because you don't want to go near the king when you're playing with a warrior because it'll proc his AoE ground effect. So we're just going to play a little bit away from him. So we're going to start killing the other knight while we wait for the rogue to get back because we don't want to start our damage window without having all our damage here. It's just like a waste of a go, especially considering we're going to lust it. That knight is going back to Africa. Healer gets bonked. Pretty sure we'll just give a little B Reser out. What is that? So as the mob's dying, you want to charge to proc this, so then he actually does the cast before he gets like stunned. So there's only like a small like 3-4 second window where you actually get that damage proc, but as you can see, the reflected 20% of his health. So it's like really good to get those reflects off. So like that one there wouldn't really do anything because it was back shielded again. So we're off to the knight. But he has a bit of an internal sort of GCD before he'll do it again, which is kind of sad. But we already had that knight prepped. And once this guy gets to, I think it's 20%, he doesn't shield again. So you're pretty much in the clear there. We'll just kill him off. Ooh. Rebuff. You run down this corridor, which is like 4 kilometers long. Which 4 kilometers is what, like probably like 30 million yards, I think, for the Americans out there. Yep.
I've left so many fragments of myself.
84 football fields.
I will open the way.
Okay, and this final boss, we've got a good coordination because we're on disc that we're able to get the spell reflex off here. So on this fight, as a warrior, you want to make sure you tell your tank that you're going to taunt at the end of the cast of Disintegrate, so you can spell reflect the first burning blast. So I'm going to miss this first window of Burning Blast, but that's okay because the other ones will make up for it and be a lot safer than trying to get the one here. Like, you technically can taunt on that first Burning Blast because he always does 2, but it's just a lot safer to just play it and just wait. So once he gets towards this cast, I'm taunting, and then I'm waiting for the cast to go out. Then I'm going to pop Reflect. And now he has a nasty dot on him that's just going to tick him down. He's just going to like push the boss really easily. We missed the kick on that one, which actually hurt the tank a lot. But we're out of here. Here you just want everybody to be like kind of moving together at the same speed. You also don't want to jump across those zappy beams because they will zap you like mid-air. So you really do want to like go around them. So we wait in this like safe little pocket until everyone's here before we go in. Just to make sure. And we're back on. Kick this one, so he's gonna do another Disintegrate cast, and here's our job again. I'm gonna get a big taunt, wait for the cast, hit the reflect, boom, and he's just killing himself. Look at that, already phased again. Doesn't get much better than that, does it? So now here, you want to group up all the mobs as fast as possible and tank them on the boss. Also dodging these purple swirlies because they will one-shot you if you hit them, or if they hit you. So you don't want to kick this boss fast. You want to wait till the very end of the cast. Because there's no point kicking him because he literally does nothing while he's channeling that stabilized rift and it does nothing to anyone else. So you just let it play all the way through. And then kick it at the last second. So we're getting a Disintegrate cast here. So what do? We taunt. Get the big taunt. Here's our shot. Boom, reflect. Dodging some circles. And the key is free from here. Boom. There we go. Another light work key for us. Feels good. reflects for the win. And yeah. So thanks for watching, guys. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know if you enjoy playing this key as a warrior, or if you try to find a warrior to take along with you when you do Upper Karazhan. I have beta access as well, so I'm going to probably be posting some beta gameplay over the next week. If there's anything you want to see on the beta that I can potentially make, let me know in the comments as well. And I'll see you in the Great Fall video, guys. Peace.